you know, these guys had to make very, very risky plays. Kranich having to use both saps on Nefarian, and then ErA followed up with a Deathwing and discarded 6 cards, including 3 dragons.
Yeah,
we're going to find out the same thing. Maybe it can happen in game number 3. I would love to see another Deathwing moment, but it's getting underway right now, and both of these guys looking for an advantage. And in the tiebreaker matches, this is where it counts the most.
Yeah, if you want to go watch an entertaining match, we have VODs and full VODs of these up. Go back and watch their match from the regular season.
And you know what? We talked about ErA not wanting to play Mage versus Kranich because he's the kind of player that's going to bring Keys and Mystic. But at this point, Kranich whiffed on Keys and Mystic in game number 1. In game number 2, ErA kind of sent the message that this wasn't the direction he was going to take. So in game number 3, I actually like that he's queuing up this build. I feel like it's never going to get pinpointed.
Yeah, you know, the more you said that, I definitely agree with you. I was thinking about the way they're going to match up here in game 3 and what they're going to do, and I was thinking I wouldn't mind seeing this from ErA. And generally, when you're playing Freeze Mage, Warrior is, you know, the matchup you don't want. It's very hard for you, but this isn't Freeze Mage, and ErA says this actually is pretty good against Warrior.
And I totally agree with him. This is not a matchup that Warrior often will win without gigantic bursts of damage. I mean, that's where we've seen ErA lose, is when he's getting his Ice Block popped a little bit earlier than he anticipated and doesn't have quite the recovery afterwards.
Yeah, when he played this against RDU, we saw it happen very quickly in the games, and he just, you know, he didn't have enough, and the secret that he got off of a Mad Scientist wasn't the exact one that he needed to continue the game, because, you know, if he gets the right secret, you know, he gets that one more turn, I think he runs away with that game.
I totally agree with you. And so Kranich, you know, still jamming out in this spot. Fiery War Axe, great for this board position, even going to be able to pick up some extra value from his Acolyte.
Yeah, he's channeling his inner Powder here. Yeah, get his Armor Smith in play here too, draw an extra card.
Make sure to put himself at 29, activate Battle Rage, and then get the armor afterwards.
Yeah, guys, pay attention to that. That's how you sequence a turn.
Yep. Don't try this at home. These are professionals. Actually, do try this at home. This is a great way to play.
What's that?
I said don't try this at home. These guys are professionals. Do try this at home. This is how you're supposed to play.
Yeah, sorry, my mic went out for just a second. I couldn't hear you. You know what's the most... You know what bums me out the most about this matchup? This is great. I love watching these two guys play. We can't see them play again ever. This is the last time we're going to see these two guys play. They both can't make the playoffs, so they can't be, like, you know, matched up again in the finals.
Now I'm sad.
I know. It kind of bums
Thanks,
me out.
Tannen. Just kill my vibe.
Sorry, buddy. That's what I'm here for.
Gosh darn it. Well, Kranich, I'm going to enjoy this moment then. Kranich, this is the first part, I think, in the matchup where he's looked like maybe he's having trouble with this turn. Not a lot of good plays available to him. Second Armor Smith will help this out a lot. But, you know, I look at his hand. He has Emperor available on turn 6, but is this a good Emperor hand?
Now, the thing is, he might not be able to wait. That's the thing. You might just need a threat in play.
Yeah. ErA making work of these Armor Smiths. Has to use his Frostbolts at this point, though. These are key cards in this matchup.
Yeah, they are key cards in the matchup, but he has to take care of the Armor Smiths as well. They're actually really important for Kranich. Kranich can get to a life total where it's hard for ErA to win, and then they go to fatigue, something weird could happen, depending on the build that Kranich has. And, you know, Kranich is the kind of guy, he might show up with a really weird card you're not ready for.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen him play Nat Pagel in this deck before.
Yeah, I have a feeling this Emperor is getting polymorphed here. You know, this is one of the last things you want to sit and play against Grim Patron. Polymorph, not the greatest card in the deck, but he doesn't know that this is Grim Patron yet.
Yeah, but you can kind of assume from Kranich with the way the game's played out that this is Grim Patron. You know, we might have seen him way more armor ups early in the game, not him hunting for value and making sure that he gets damaged, you know, because of cards like Battle Rage.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a read that ErA has picked up by now.
Yep, so Kranich going to shield block here, just pad his life total a little bit more.
Yeah, develop a Dust Bite.
And now, what does Kranich actually think this is? Because from his perspective, we're in the same boat. This still looks like Freeze Mage.
Yeah, it looks like Freeze Mage, but if he's done any, you know, research for ErA, and I have to believe he did it for either this or their match towards the end of the season, he has to know the ErA Mage deck.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, but again, that's where players can mix it up very well and actually get those edges. He's not really sacrificing too much by just playing it as though it's Freeze Mage. But at the same time, he's not really losing much by playing it the other way either. I just feel like his position's very favored right now.
Yeah, this is one of the situations where you might not see ErA Dr. Boom here on 7, even though he's thinking about it, because I'm pretty sure this is a duplicate. And, you know, how much do you want to duplicate Boombots? And, you know, Kranich has probably picked up on the fact that this is a duplicate.
Still a tough spot, though. Gonna go with Slam first.
Oh, wow, if he executes right away here. Well, taking care of a Boombot first. Okay, there we go. Wait, it's not duplicate? It's just ice barrier.
Ice block.
Ice block, sorry, yeah. Ice block, yeah.
So now that he's gotten the signal, Execute gonna swoop in and take care of the 7-5. But now this is a tough spot. You know, do you risk this Boombot being it? Because if he doesn't kill the Boombot, no matter what, his Frothing Berserker's dead next turn. But if he kills the Boombot, there's a 50% chance that the Frothing Berserker, or almost a 50% chance that the Frothing Berserker dies this turn.
Yeah, I mean, do you attack first, of course? Is he just going upstairs with all of it here? That's what it looked like.
That's a possibility. So, Frothing Berserker is biting the dust no matter what.
Yeah, it does take up some of ErA's mana here. Ooh, Ragnaros,
that's a darn good draw right now.
This takes care of the Frothing Berserker itself. Yeah, he's going to be able to Ragnaros this turn if he wants to, and that's a good one to duplicate.
Yeah, it doesn't have duplicate down, though.
Right. He doesn't duplicate yet, but if Kranich were to not have another Execute, you know, a way to kill this, then he might be trying to set up a turn where he gets to duplicate the Ragnaros here.
Honestly, I don't even mind having duplicate hit the anti-kill bot. You just saw a Frothing Berserker from your opponent. If you can flame strike a lot of his threats away and then just keep yourself at a very high life total, there's a chance Kranich might not have an opportunity for lethal this game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you here. He has to have one of those big Warsong Commander turns, and you can control his board enough to where if you do this, if you duplicate an anti-heal bot, it puts Kranich in a situation where he can't do anything for multiple turns. Because he has to do one of those turns with another Frothing Berserker to kill you, and he needs to build up a gigantic board to do that. And he's already used his Emperor Thaurissan, so the chances of him doing that are so thin.
Right, that's exactly what I'm getting at here too, is that if ErA can force Kranich to use just a couple more key cards, suddenly you're looking at a position that might not even be winnable from the damage perspective.
Yeah, and this is actually plan A with this mage deck in this matchup, is you just run them out of cards. You take away all of their win conditions, and then eventually you Alexstrasza them and you have a duplicate, or you Ragnaros them and you have a duplicate, and the game is over.
It's just so ErA.
Yeah, it's 100% ErA, yeah.
So Kranich looking for a slam this turn. Like, can he even risk playing a Frothing Berserker at this spot?
I mean, he has to do something. He needs to figure out now how he's going to win this game over the next couple turns, and does that involve using a Frothing Berserker this turn, or does he wait for one of those gigantic turns where he gets a Frothing Berserker? But that's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, it's only two different decisions he can make, but it's not a matter of whether or not he picks the right decision, it's whether or not he makes the right choice, which requires him to think all those turns in advance. Sure, you could roll dice and make your decisions with Hearthstone and win a couple games, but you're not going to win the long term by doing it this way, and he only has a limited amount of time. And so with that limited amount of time, I feel like he has to wait, because waiting is so much, it's just a much safer position to be in.
Yeah, what he needs to do is he needs to have a turn with Warsong Commander and Grim Patron and Frothing Berserker and somehow go off from there. You know, he has 2 Whirlwinds, and he has a 2-mana Warsong Commander, but the problem is only one of the Whirlwinds is free right now, so it's actually, he needs an extra mana, which he can't get because he's already used his Emperor Thaurissan.
That's actually an excellent point. The fact that his mana will be restricted from turn 10 onwards, like, that's something that I wasn't even really paying much attention to. No surprise to see Shield Slam in Kranich's build. But he has to know this is a duplicate at this point.
Yeah, and that's a big Shield Slam too.
We need that card that every time it takes damage, your opponent takes that much damage.
The 4/3?
Yeah, just Shield Slam that one.
Yeah, I've had this come up a few times. Like I did a podcast with some people, and we talked about it a little bit on like, you know, the new cards. And someone said, "I can't wait to Shield Slam that thing for 25." And I'm like, "Well, they weren't going to win anyway."
Yeah, you have 25 armor.
Yeah. But I can't wait to cast a match where it comes out of a piloted shredder. You know, someone's like, "Attack your piloted shredder with my fiery war axe," and then they're like, "Okay." Then that comes out, and you're like, "All right, Shield Slam that thing for 15."
Our ErA just going to add Ragnaros to this board, and this is a terrible position for Kranich now. The Execute, I think, is going to pull him out of this. But
yeah, that was a big pickup here.
Say he doesn't draw this Execute, he has to make the decision, do I give him 2 Sludge Belchers, or do I give him 2 Ragnaros?
Yeah, and that's what ErA was trying to do. He's trying to put him in this position where, you know, you're damned if you do it, you're damned if you don't. Like, what are you going to do, leave the Ragnaros sitting around? You still have to get through the Sludge Belcher. If you give me 2 of those, I'll just beat you down with these guys.
Yeah.
They're so hard to deal with.
I love that card.
He has to be careful with the Sludge Belchers, though, in this matchup. He can't leave too many 1/2s in play at the same time, like too many of the Slimes, because that gives Kranich an out with a Frothing Berserker.
Right. That's the, you know, the blessing and the curse of this one. So you put your opponent on a clock, but you give them some form of inevitability there. With if they just put together the right combinations of cards, they kill you.
Yeah. Now, speaking of new cards, the new 6/6 Dragon with Taunt and Death Rattle do 3 damage to all minions. I think it fits amazingly into this deck from ErA.
I think it just fits amazingly into a lot of decks. Duplicate going to be on 2 Sludge Belchers here. Has to execute this Ragnaros, does not have a choice. But again, this is the kind of situation that ErA is looking for too. If he gets Kranich to commit too many resources, he's not going to have the reach.
Yeah, and so here's the thing that's going to happen too. He's got 2 Sludge Belchers now. He's able to protect himself. He can draw Illuminator at any point in time. He'll just be at 30 every turn, but he has to be careful with how many minions he puts into play that don't have 3 power. But here's the other problem for Kranich. He just took a lot.
Yeah, effective 13 damage and does not have an execute to handle this Alexstrasza. This is a major problem for him at this point, and he doesn't have an effective way to really get out of this situation. He has to hope he draws the right cards.
And so here's the other beauty of ErA's deck. Him doing this turn after turn after turn, how much value does he get off Flame Strike now?
Exactly. Like,
yeah, he forces you into the situation. And then Kranich having to draw extra cards here just to maybe get in this game, that also plays into ErA's hands because he doesn't mind this going to fatigue. He wants to. And then he's going to have more cards in his deck.
Now, ErA might honestly, he may have locked this game up with this sequence. Like, just getting to this board state is unbelievable. And Kranich, he even understands that he cannot invest into the Alexstrasza. He has to push for damage, which I agree with. This is his best chance, I think, to get back in this game. The problem with this is that look at what's happening to the board state. Can he claw through this?
This is the funniest thing for me all season long. ErA does this. You just always say, look what's happening to this board state. Because these things happen. And stuff like this doesn't happen in Hearthstone all the time.
Yeah,
but ErA forces this.
Decks are not built to fight from these positions. And a small opening here now provided for Kranich. I mean, if there's a turn he's going to win, it's going to be this one, but he just lost his second Frothing Berserker.
Yep, and he does get to make a ton of Grim Patrons here this turn, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, just the Flame Strike.
Yeah, you're going to see Flame Strikes. ErA has a Fireball. I mean, he's going to be able to end this game very quickly.
I mean, he doesn't even really have sufficient ways to push through the Sludge Belcher. Again, he's getting a big board. Sure, he's dealing a lot of damage. This is all going away.
Yeah, hold on. He's gonna get a lot in here, but the Ice Block's gonna keep ErA alive. I'm sorry, and
yeah, he's only got 14 points of damage.
Well, he's gonna be able to take care of a ton of this board as well. Like, this board's going away. Also, he can make ErA duplicate a big Game Hunter here, which is like kind of bad for ErA.
Duplicate's gone.
Well, is there a second one in the deck?
That's a good point.
Yeah, there it is right there. So he gets to duplicate a big Game Hunter. So he gets to get the duplicate happening under his own turn.
I see where you're going with that.
Now Kranich, he's making headway, but it's just not going to be enough.
Right, like that's another position he's in right now. Sure, he's dealt 6 points of damage, but there's 1 Grim Patron left. There's no Warsong Commanders. This is getting Flame Struck, and Kranich is getting low on cards in his deck.
Yeah, that's like the hashtag for Arena. Get Flame Struck.
Flame Struck.
Y'all can't see it, but Nathan's playing air guitar there as well.
Big Game Hunter's playing his own air guitar as well. He's just got a shotgun with his his guitar though.
Fun Game Hunter.
Gosh.
Kranich is running low on cards.
Yeah, I don't know if I just don't think he's got the gas in the tank left to do this. You know, maybe he's got a Grommash in here, but he has to pop an Ice Block, fight through anti-Keelbots, fight through more Sludge Belchers.
Yeah, ErA's just gonna be able to play Sludge Belcher to anti-Keelbot this turn and pretty much just lock it up.
Yep. Or even just 2 Sludge Belchers if you wanted to. No Wish Inventor. I think he's just trading with it. No reason not to just restrict the board.
Well, this is what his deck's built to do, so he's going to keep doing that.
So the glimmer of hope is in Kranich's hand right now, but the dream-shattering Flame Strike is sitting in ErA. So, you know, he's fought valiantly through this one, but ErA's deck is just, it's built to fight these kinds of games.
Yeah, we saw it in game 1. Kranich, not the kind of guy to give up. Yeah, and what ErA can even do here, if he wants to fight on multiple fronts, is he can start to use his hero power against Kranich's Acolyte of Pain to get him into fatigue even sooner.
I fully expect that to be the case. This is a ping onto the Acolyte and a Flame Strike afterwards to wipe out this board. Kranich has to win quite literally with his last card, and it's Battle Rage. We are going to game number 3 with ErA having a 2-1 lead.
And, you know, this looks like a game where ErA had to run through a lot of hoops here, get a lot of things done. You know, it looks like kind of crazy stuff went on with ErA here. This is what he does. This is plan A for his deck. He's used to this kind of game. This was just business as usual for him.
Yeah, Kranich just gonna sit here and fight it out. Try to get any extra information you can.
Yep.
You know what? I actually love seeing this from Kranich right now because ErA, get a little blowback here.
Yeah.
I like seeing this from Kranich right now because it shows you he is not affected by the pressure in this match, whatsoever. I mean, look how calm he is.
Yeah, he's going to send a message here to ErA. ErA's going to kind of mess back with him. Hey, Kranich, you know, I know you fireballed yourself in your last match. I can do that too.
Yeah.
For anyone who didn't see Kranich's last match, he had to play on his phone, and he had a little bit of a misclick.
Yeah, let's not bring up that old stuff again. Fantastic game from ErA. You know, again, you hit the nail on the head here too. It looked like ErA had to do so much to get to this board position.